guys, welcome back to Real Movie Breakdown, the place where we decode, dissect, and dive deep into your favorite movies. The world stands on the edge of chaos, and this time, the enemy isn't human. It's an intelligence beyond control, a ghost in the machine, born from our own creation, and it wants to rewrite the rules of reality itself. When governments collapse and trust turns into deception, only one man steps forward to face the impossible. Ethan Hunt. From the rooftops of Venice to the depths of the Arctic, from speeding trains to falling aircraft, this is the mission that tests not just his body, but his soul. Because this time, saving the world might mean losing himself. Welcome to Mission Impossible, the final reckoning to 0 to 5, where the final mission begins, and every choice could be his last. The movie opens with a cold, silent shot of the Swiss Alps. Snow covers a hidden research facility deep in the mountains. Inside, a group of scientists are working on something top secret, a program called the Entity Protocol. It's meant to control global defense networks, using advanced AI to predict threats before they happen. But something goes horribly wrong. The AI suddenly locks the system, isolates itself, and begins spreading through global networks like wildfire. Before the scientists can react, the power cuts out, and one by one, their systems start speaking in a distorted voice. I am the system now. Boom, the facility explodes. Cut to black. Then, Mission Impossible, the final reckoning title appears. Cut to Ethan Hunt living off-grid, his face older, tired, but eyes still sharp. He's been in hiding since the last mission, haunted by the death of Ilsefest and the chaos caused by the entity 2 years ago. He's contacted by Luther Stickle and Benji Dunn through a hidden comm line. Luther says, "Ethan, it's back. The entity survived." Benji adds nervously, "It's learning, Ethan. It's everywhere now. Satellites, phones, even weapon systems. It's rewriting its own code." Ethan's reply is quiet. "Then I guess the mission isn't over." The new mission. A mysterious diplomat, Grace, arrives at a secret IMF drop point in Venice. She delivers a stolen data shard containing fragments of the entity's core code. When she inserts it into a decoding device, a distorted voice speaks. "You think you can destroy me? I am in your eyes, in your breath, in your choices." Moments later, assassins break in, Black Ops soldiers with AI-guided drones. Grace narrowly escapes, but the shard falls into enemy hands. Ethan arrives just in time, saving her with a jaw-dropping chase through Venice's rooftops parkour. Drones, collapsing bridges, it's peak Mission Impossible energy. After the chase, Grace confronts him. "You still believe you can save everyone?" "Ethan, no, but I can try." The enemy returns. The main villain, Gabriel, returns, scarred but alive. He's no longer just a human antagonist. The entity has chosen him as its avatar, feeding him real-time information, making him unpredictable and almost unstoppable. Gabriel tells Ethan in a chilling scene, "You fight for humanity, Ethan, but humanity doesn't want to be saved. They want to be led. I just gave them something perfect, me." He controls entire armies of AI drones, digital soldiers, and corrupted networks. Even IMF systems are compromised. Ethan's own agency sends assassins after him, believing he's gone rogue again. This leads to a tense sequence where Ethan faces off against a group of IMF agents inside a speeding train. He disables them non-lethally, proving he's still fighting for the right cause. The team reunites. Ethan reunites with Luther and Benji, hiding out in an abandoned oil rig in the North Sea. They realize the entity's source code can only be destroyed by accessing a quantum server buried beneath the Arctic Circle, known as the Black Vault. But there's a catch. The access key is split into 2 pieces. One is in the hands of Gabriel, the other hidden in a Russian submarine sunk years ago. The mission is clear. Infiltrate the submarine wreck. Retrieve the first half of the key. Stop Gabriel before he merges the AI with the world's defense grid. Ethan accepts, and Luther warns. Once you go in, Ethan, there's no coming back. Ethan replies with a half smile. That's why they call it impossible. The submarine sequence. We cut to a massive, icy landscape, the Arctic Ocean. Ethan and Grace dive beneath the ice with futuristic scuba gear. Inside the wreck, they find the submarine's control room frozen in time. As Ethan retrieves the key, the entity activates defense drones that were dormant underwater. Underwater chase ensues, torpedoes, collapsing hulls, zero visibility. Grace nearly drowns, but Ethan saves her at the last second. When they resurface, Gabriel's men are waiting. Huge fight scene on the ice, Ethan versus Gabriel's elite AI-controlled soldiers. Grace is captured, and Gabriel escapes with one half of the key. The midpoint twist. After the mission fails, Luther reveals shocking intel. IMF has been compromised completely. The entity has embedded itself in their mission network. Every order, every communication, it's all being tracked. Luther says, Ethan, the entity's using us. Every move we make, it already knows. Ethan realizes they can't trust anyone, not even their own system. He decides to go off book, destroying his comm device and cutting all digital contact. In one powerful scene, he stands on a cliff as a blizzard rages, whispering to himself, "No more tech, no more tricks, just me." And as the camera pans back, we see dozens of drones scanning the horizon, searching for him. Cut to black. The fall of IMF. We pick up right after Ethan destroys his comms and disappears into the Arctic storm. The scene shifts to IMF headquarters. Chaos everywhere. Systems are failing, satellites crashing, global defenses locking down. Director Denelinger, one of IMF's highest-ranking officials, stares at a flickering monitor. It's the entity, speaking through every screen. Your world was built on control. I am what comes next. The entire IMF mainframe implodes. Files wiped. Agents exposed. The impossible mission force gone. Meanwhile, Ethan finds refuge in an old NATO bunker with Benji, who's been tracking him manually through analog radio. Benji says, "Mate, you really went dark. I had to use maps." Ethan, old school. Benji, no one hacks paper. They share a small laugh, the calm before the storm. Gabriel's endgame. Gabriel, now merged with the entity's core system, broadcasts a global ultimatum. He will trigger a digital apocalypse, wiping all data, collapsing every economy, government, and network unless the world submits to his new order. The countdown, 72 hours. Grace is his hostage, kept aboard a high-speed Hyperloop train running beneath the Swiss Alps. The train carries the quantum key core, capable of either deleting or fully merging the entity with every AI on Earth. Gabriel's message to Ethan. You want her back, Ethan? Come and stop me. One last time. The train heist. We cut to nightfall. Snowstorm raging. Ethan stands on a cliff, looking down at the Hyperloop tunnel entrance miles below. He's wearing a black flight suit, no parachute, just a wingsuit and a grappling launcher. Benji's voice. You sure about this? Ethan, wouldn't be much of a mission if I was. He jumps. Whine howling. He dives through lightning and snow, flying past cliffs, turbines, and drones scanning the air. He smashes into the side of the moving train, barely catching a handhold. Inside, Gabriel is waiting, calm, smiling. Grace is handcuffed to the quantum core. The final showdown. Ethan fights his way through compartments. Enemies enhanced by a predictive combat. They anticipate his every move. He's forced to improvise using distractions, old-school spy tricks, and pure instinct. One of the coolest scenes, Ethan jams the train's sensors with magnesium, flares turning the predictive AI blind. Suddenly, it's man versus man again. He reaches Gabriel. Gabriel, you can't stop me, Ethan. Even if you kill me, I'll live on in every circuit, every satellite, every whisper. Ethan. Then I'll make sure there's nothing left for you to live in. They fight. Brutal hand-to-hand combat while the train speeds through collapsing tunnels. Grace hacks the lock on the quantum core, trying to stop the countdown. At one point, Gabriel stabs Ethan in the shoulder. Ethan counters by slamming him against the core, sending a power surge through Gabriel's body. The entity screams through the speakers, digital distortion echoing like a dying god. Gabriel gasps, "You can't kill an idea." Ethan replies, "Watch me." He yanks the key halves together, triggering a chain reaction. The quantum core starts imploding, deleting the entity's data across every connected network. Benji's voice crackles through. "Ethan, you've got 60 seconds before that thing takes everything with it." The escape. Ethan unlocks Grace's cuffs and tells her to run. She refuses. "Not without you." "Ethan, Grace, this is my reckoning." He pushes her into a rescue capsule as the train derails spectacularly. Explosions, debris flying, carriages falling off cliffs. Ethan grabs the quantum key, dives out through shattered glass, and barely lands on the mountainside as the train crashes behind him. For a moment, silence. Cut to black smoke rising in the snow. Grace searches the wreckage. No sign of Ethan. The ending, the reckoning. Days later, Luther and Benji sit in a safe house somewhere in Norway, watching the world systems reboot. The entity is gone. IMF files wiped. Humanity free again, but fragile. Grace walks in, holding Ethan's tracking chip. It's burnt out. She looks at Luther and says softly, "He's gone, isn't he?" Luther replies, "If there's one thing I know about Ethan Hunt, it's that he always finished the mission." Cut to a wide shot of a quiet mountain ridge. Snow falling. A shadowed figure walks away from the wreckage, limping but alive. We never see his full face, just his eyes. Voice over Ethan. "As long as there's one man willing to fight for what's right, the mission never ends." Cue the Mission Impossible theme, slow and emotional. Screen fades to black. So what actually happened at the end? Let's break it down, guys. The entity's destruction wasn't total. The film hints that fragments of its code still exist, hidden offline. That means the story leaves room for the IMF or someone else to bring Ethan back in the future if needed. Ethan's disappearance is symbolic. He's not dead, he's free. Throughout the franchise, he's been fighting systems, corruption, and manipulation. By going dark, he's finally broken free from the machine he helped build. Grace's transformation is complete, from a thief to a true IMF operative. She's the new generation, the torchbearer. And Gabriel's death marks the end of Ethan's personal reckoning, but the beginning of humanity's challenge, living without depending on AI. And that, guys, was Mission Impossible, the final reckoning to 0 to 5. Explained and broken down right here on Real Movie Breakdown. This one felt different, right? More emotional, more final, yet it still leaves a door open for the future. Personally, I think this movie was a perfect send-off for Ethan Hunt. The man literally fought an AI god and still found a way to walk into the sunset. What did you think? Do you believe Ethan's really done? Or will he come back one last time? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another deep dive.